moving quite a few things around our house at the moment. I had recently brought a desk from one room to another. Now, it's an old desk, and I took everything out of it before moving it. And I came across something that had been tucked away, something that I reckoned I had lost, but actually had been put in the desk for safekeeping and just had gone out of memory. The desk had little compartments, and that's why it just didn't come to our memory in recent times. This is what I found, wrapped up like this. Now, don't get excited, it's not a Fabergé egg, otherwise I wouldn't be worrying about my pension. But there's a story behind this. It looks like an egg. It's about 26 years old, I'm sure. And I take you back to when I got it. It was a lady called Jean. And she lived just a mile down the road from where our first manse was. She always kept hens, ducks and geese. And her favourite goose was called Gertrude. One day she said to me, "I've got a present for you from Gertrude." Now, I knew who Gertrude was, and I just wasn't enamoured immediately, because I reckoned, now what could a goose give you? Only an egg. As Jean wanted me to eat a goose egg. Now, my late father occasionally would have enjoyed a duck egg, which I must admit was far too strong for me. But I knew that a goose egg is the strongest of all of them. And in a sense, I reckoned, oh dear, when Jean mentioned this. But then she gave me a box. Open it when you go home. So later I opened the box, and that's what was inside it. It was an egg from Gertrude. But all the yolk had been taken away, and Jean had done something with it and had turned it round, as you hopefully just might see. She took the egg, and then she did the inside with a material, did a few fancy things around it, and painted it, and then had a little clock bought, just like this one. And she put it the inside. There's a little stand, and that was her particular gift. Now, I was excited finding it again. I know I had shown it to some people, and then in the past year or two, it had just disappeared from sight. That's where it was. And you know, when you find something that you have misplaced, and it's of value to you, maybe not monetary value, but of value or special in memory to you, you're really overjoyed. Or in an sense, you're excited. And I remember going into the house and saying, "Look, I found Gertrude's egg," to which I got an astonished look until I held it up, and then the penny dropped with everyone else in the house. Being excited when something lost has been found. Jesus used that image a long time ago, before any of us thought. And Jesus in Luke's Gospel talks about the lost things. There was a son who got lost away from his home, and he came back to his father and was found. There was a farmer who lost a sheep, and he went out to look for that sheep which was lost, and it was found. And then the other story was around a woman, and John said, or Jesus rather said, she had a coin that was lost. It was possibly a coin on a string with others. It may have been a type of an engagement present or a dowry or something like that. And it could have been of value, we're not sure, but it was very special. And she did everything, and she found the lost coin. One of the things Jesus mentioned was that when something is lost and found, it can put a smile on a person's face. But then he added, and you know, something like that puts a smile on God's face if we use the human imagery. And Jesus went on to say, when someone comes to believe in God, it's like them being found when they were lost. And according to Jesus, there's a great excitement even in heaven. And that God's not detached from this world, but God's involved in it. And when he sees someone coming to him, it makes him happy. And the suggestion is there is joy in heaven. So the next time, like me, you perhaps find something that was misplaced or something that's lost, pause for a moment and say, why has that made me so happy? What memories does it contain? Or why is this thing that isn't of monetary value so valuable to me? And particularly also over this period with COVID, there's been an opportunity to pause and say, what's important? And when you do, then ask yourself, what makes God pleased? And maybe we in the church need to do that. With all our work and activity, are we pleasing God? Or what's the big thing that he wants to see? What's the most important thing? I wonder, is it enabling people to find God? To be found? To enter into a relationship with him? Because when we're about that, that's more valuable than many other things. And according to Jesus, read in Luke's Gospel, it puts a smile on God's face before anything else would.